Well, hello everybody, a very good evening and welcome to our webinar. My name is Andrew Hellier, I'm the Partner Engagement Manager here at Reckon, and I've got the pleasure to be hosting this evening's session. Now I am joined by a couple of my colleagues here. We have Francis Benitez, who leads our sales team, and also John Gaeski, one of our Senior Customer Success Managers. Now they'll be jumping on the webinar throughout our next 30 minutes here this evening, and I'm also joined by Peter Murphy, who heads up the Positive Rugby Foundation. I'm sure many of you here do know Peter. Now, I just wanted to start by thanking you all for taking the time out of your busy evenings to join us here on the call. I know many of you, or most of you, probably have full-time jobs, so we're very thankful that you've dedicated your time to join us. Now, I suppose the webinar this evening is designed for you to get an understanding of our Grassroots Accounting initiative, brought to you by a partnership with the awesome Positive Rugby Foundation. So during this session, I'm just going to cover off a short intro, then I'll be handing over to Peter and Francis to talk through some of the more details about this grassroots initiative. And then John's going to jump into our software just for a quick tour. So we do have a little bit to cover, and the session should run for approximately 30 minutes, I'll say. And there will be some time for questions at the end if you have any. So if you haven't used GoToWebinar before, you can just pop your questions into the question box at any time. You don't need to wait to the end, just type in a question. And then once we get to the end of the session, we'll answer those questions. So also, nobody likes them, but I have to just say it real quick. What you'll hear and see during this presentation is of a very general nature and it's purely for guidance. If you do have any specific questions regarding individual business circumstances, we suggest you reach out to your normal Basel tax agent, the ATO, or if you are an accountant or bookkeeper, your relevant professional body. Next slide, thanks, Francis. Now, I'm assuming everyone here is joining a Reckon webinar for the first time, so I wanted to quickly cover off what we actually do here at Reckon. So Reckon is an Australian-owned and operated tech company, headquartered here in beautiful North Sydney. We are a publicly listed company on the ASX, and well over 150 employees work for the business. And over 130,000 businesses around Australia and in New Zealand use Reckon products. Now, here at Reckon, we believe that all small businesses should, and NFP should have access to the most affordable and accessible solutions to manage their business. So to achieve that, our mission is simple. It's to design, develop and distribute the most cost-effective and easy to use ecosystem of accounting software for Aussie businesses, also backed up by the best Aussie support available. Thanks, Francis. Now, you might be thinking, why is Reckon partnering with the Positive Rugby Foundation and presenting a webinar to rugby union clubs? And if you're sitting there thinking that, it's a very good question. Now, here at Reckon, we are passionate supporters of grassroots communities, such as sports clubs and community associations. And I wanted to quickly share a little bit of a backstory about how this all came together. So at Reckon, we recently held what's called a hackathon, which is basically a fun internal competition between various teams about who can produce the best business improvement idea around several topics. And we generally do this before a work party, so it doesn't feel like, you know, a normal day's work, I guess. Now, one of the teams was made up of a couple of mad sports fans and a club treasurer, and they spawned the idea of what we now call the Grassroots Accounting Initiative. And we here at Reckon, we truly believe that grassroots organisations do have such a rich history and play a very important role in our Aussie communities. So off the back of that passion and recognition for the importance of grassroots organisations here in Australia and the great idea from a hackathon, we've launched the Grassroots Accounting Initiative. Now, we know that many not-for-profit organisations and clubs have limited funding and resources and rely on the generosity of volunteers such as yourselves from their community. Now, the volunteers, especially the person who does put their hand up for the treasurer role, can face many challenges when it comes to maintaining the books, such as the time it takes, the training, or just having the funds for the right business management tools. And we're going to touch on some of those in a little bit more detail. So with the Grassroots Accounting Initiative, our goal is to support clubs and their treasurers in their roles adopting digital technology. And our Grassroots Accounting approach is not just about providing the full end-to-end technology package, but about how we provide a holistic offering that includes ongoing education and support. And our exciting grassroots initiative is in full swing, and as you can see, we're already working very closely with organisations such as the Positive Rugby Foundation. And for those on the call here, would love to hear more about your club and work with you to overcome the challenges of adopting digital accounting products. So I think it's now a good time to hand over to you, Peter, if you want to talk a little bit more about this partnership and how it came to effect.
That'd be great, Andrew. Thank you, mate. Look, we've partnered with Reckon probably the last 6 months and been working on this Grassroots Accounting initiative to support our rugby club. So I head up the New South Wales Positive Rugby Foundation, which is New South Wales Rugby's charity and social impact arm. And we use rugby as a vehicle to address social issues within communities, whether that be mental health, Indigenous. But one of our great programs we've got is Rugby for Good, where we're really investing heavily in making sure that rugby clubs are well equipped to obviously go ahead and champion our great game. And when we sat down with Reckon and walked through Grassroots Accounting, it became very evident that this tool, this opportunity we had with the partnership was to make sure that every club in New South Wales had the opportunity to have a look at Reckon and have a look at Grassroots Accounting to make sure that we were able to service the needs of clubs around their accounting and software opportunities, not only from back office and accounting, but obviously point of sale. And then obviously we're also looking at how we can support clubs through Reckon and Grassroots Accounting in their fundraising efforts, so we can support you at a local grassroots level. So look, we're really pumped about this opportunity to partner with Reckon, partner with rugby clubs to make it a lot easier for clubs. And this tool and this accounting package is a really important part of that. So as we go forward to make sure we're servicing our rugby clubs across New South Wales. There's 320 rugby clubs in New South Wales, seniors and juniors. We've got a long way to go to get clubs more engaged with us in the Positive Rugby Foundation, but we're certainly here to help clubs not only fundraise, but also a whole heap of other activities that we're doing across New South Wales. So Andrew, that's kind of a bit of an update on the foundation. We're pretty heavily invested. Last year we invested $1.4 million back into community grassroots rugby across a number of initiatives. As I said, mental health's a big one for us, but a whole heap of other programs that we're running as well throughout New South Wales, regional, remote, metro. So it's a big program that we run, and this is certainly an exciting period that we have with Grassroots Accounting. So I think one of the things that we can help with Grassroots Accounting, and it probably is, it's a great tool for treasurers of the club, particularly with the turnover, high number of turnovers when obviously treasurers change or secretaries change, presidents change, etc., etc. So it's a one accounting tool in that regard. The tools are really important, not only for your profit and loss and I guess balance sheet fees, etc., etc. It's timing, great services that Reckon offer us in the timing and also training on tool training. And I guess that transparency around what you need to do from an accounting standards and addressing ATO issues, etc., etc. So in a nutshell, the team's going to walk through the Grassroots Accounting programs that you can have and how it's working, and certainly looking forward to you taking this a little bit further to get more information after this webinar. And then obviously we will continue to roll out more webinars and more training so that more clubs have the opportunity to take on Grassroots Accounting.
Thank you for that, Peter. I'll take over now. So as Peter mentioned, there are a lot of, I guess, tribulations or challenges that treasurers definitely face, as I was mentioned in that previous slide. And what I've got here is sort of a case study around one of our, I guess, key partners in the NFP space. A lot of you may be familiar with Scouts Australia. We are, Scouts Australia SA specifically, are one of our key partners. So they initially came to us, would have been about nearly a year and a half ago now, talking about some of the challenges they specifically faced around the inconsistency in financial reporting, where the way they're actually structured, they've got about 100, I guess, scout formations, and each scout formation have the responsibility to report their financial activities within their own groups. But the thing is, with every group, there is no streamlined process. They all do things quite differently from each other. And in the head office, that was a bit of a headache. Because you've got people, I guess, different groups providing Excel sheets. You've got a shoebox of receipts, funnily enough, that would still be produced. And this just made everything a lot very messy, very inaccurate. A lot has definitely changed since, as we've absolutely helped them address a lot of the issues that they face. And one of the big issues we've helped them overcome is the fact that with the treasurers for these scout formations, a lot of the treasurers there are volunteer-based as well. So parents who aren't familiar with bookkeeping software. So much like the treasurers that you would find in for a sports club, sometimes you'd be lucky enough to get someone that is definitely financially tech savvy. Otherwise, it is usually the mum or dad that really just wants to do more for their club. So there is definitely a lot of barriers around that aspect. And then it's, again, learning about the software. It is something that's completely new, keeping up with ATO compliances and all of that. So it can be a little bit overwhelming. And how we've come along and helped Scouts Australia is we've provided them with a streamlined process using Reckon software, and we've provided them with something that's affordable and super easy to use. And with everyone being on the one software, it's given everyone a lot more accurate figures, and it's provided a lot more oversight, I guess, from head office sort of level. So that's definitely sort of, and Scouts Australia has been one of our great success stories in having everyone on the one software. And to talk more about what Grassroots Accounting is, so it is not just accounting software for sports clubs where you can easily manage those registration fees, track expenses, and improve your financial management across the sport club. But Grassroots Accounting does also embody a point of sale software, which is for sports clubs. And it is more than just a point of sale software as well. It's actually an all-in-one software that enables you to manage many aspects of your sports club, from canteen, from events, payments, and more. Plus, with Grassroots Accounting, we offer free onboarding and ongoing support. So again, this could be very new things for a club, taking on new software for both the point of sale and the accounting aspect. So Reckon is here to provide support every step of the way with the initial onboarding and checking in with you and the team regularly, so you are definitely very familiar with the software, and also addressing any sort of, I guess, concerns or any hiccups that come along the way. In regards to accounting software and what Reckon sort of entails, listed over here is sort of just some of the key benefits that you will find when you switch or use Reckon software. So our Reckon software, it is all cloud-based, so it is accessible on any sort of device that you would use, as long as you just have an internet connection and a browser. That's all you pretty much need. It is affordable. We do have a couple of different subscription plans, but otherwise there are always more value for money. Our cheapest plan starts from $12, and you'll pay no more than $85 if you wanted every single functionality available to you. And we've obviously found that not a lot of NFPs require everything, so you definitely will be priced affordably for what you actually use. It is always going to be ATO compliant. We pretty much take care of all of the updates to ensure we are compliant with the ATO as well. All of your data is encrypted and secured, stored in Australia, so rest assured that it is safe and secure with us. You'll also get free and live support. So while we offer dedicated support to all of the clubs, anyone that just comes across Reckon software will receive that free and live support with our amazing support team. You'll get real-time cash flow reporting. You'll be able to create and send bills and invoices. We also provide automatic bank connections and limited bank connections at that. And all the reports are available to you at a quick click of the button. And we also don't charge per user. You get unlimited users with customizable access. So you, as the main club treasurer, could customize your access. We have full availability to see and access everything. And then if you have a staff that helps you out, you could limit their access. It's really up to you how you exactly want to do that. The other part to Grassroots Accounting is our point of sale software. So this is actually called Wabi. So this was actually created by a restaurateur who is based in Melbourne. And this restaurateur was tired of having multiple software to run his actual business. So he started off with an online reservations platform, and then he built a point of sale aspect to it, added a staff rostering angle to it. So you've got this amazing new modern looking UI of software with a lot of functionality to, I guess, complement every aspect of running a business. And it's actually perfect as well for your sports club when you're running events, for game days, for fundraisers, events of that nature. So it is intuitive. As you can see here from the screenshot, it's got that modern look. You can create as many, so you can create online bookings, create an event ticketing system as well, where for your game days, for example, you can generate unique QR codes, which can be scanned at the front gate. We do have staff rostering and management also available. This has proven from recent conversations that I've had with clubs so far, they really like this functionality to be able to manage their volunteers, even the referees or staff that they would have for game days. We also have a client relationship management system built in. So this is to monitor specifically, I guess, any of your customers or even your VIP members. So where you can tag a VIP member, send them some sort of marketing for a VIP member special day, or you could flag them in a way where they get discounts as a VIP member on game days for your canteen items. All of the reports will be there available. You'll have nice visual reports for event sales and all of the activities. You'll also have unlimited users and staff as well. Again, similar to Reckon One, you can be able to control the access of every single user. And what's going to be great with Wabi as well is that it directly integrates to Reckon One. All of your day transactions at a canteen can be will directly sync with Reckon One software, and all of that data will appear over there for you to reconcile much easier. And there also, and the best part about it, there is no setup and onboarding fee, and there's actually no ongoing subscription costs. So today we won't really talk too much about Wabi. We'll because that in itself deserves, honestly, its own webinar. But it is a great tool that combines with Reckon, thus giving us the grassroots accounting solution for your club. What I'll do now, though, just to give you a bit of a high-level demonstration of the Reckon One software, I will hand you over now to John, and John will take you through Reckon One. John, if you don't mind, I will just bear with me. I'm just going to quickly change you as the presenter so you can take over.
Yeah, thanks, Francis.
Have you got that, John?
Terrific. Where am I? Yep, I'll just show screen. You should be able to see my screen now. Reckon One in the top left-hand corner, black panel on the left-hand side. So terrific. Thank you for attending tonight's session. I'll just try to give you a very quick overview of what Reckon One is. Essentially, it's just a system having you enter your transactions day by day, having the technology categorize everything so that you can do things like pull out management reports, as well as meeting any compliance issues like BAS reports, STP reports if you're doing payroll and that sort of thing. So what we're starting with here is on our dashboard, which is here to give us an overview, quick overview of what's happening on the business, our net positions, links and alerts, our banks. We can customize this. Throughout the whole program, you'll get opportunities to customize things in many different ways so that you can sort of tailor the program around towards your own needs. The left-hand panel gives us our functionality. One of the key ones here would be under day-to-day, where we've got an ability to make manual inputs of received money and make payments. And if you're in the business of issuing invoices, even if it is just for club membership fees, the facility is there. This is sort of like considered a bit old school now, because we now have a more direct way of entering transactions, and most people are moving that in. That is to use the entries already in your bank account. So we can have you connect to your bank account through something we call bank feeds or bank data, make requests to access your bank accounts and pull those transactions into Reckon One and assign them to the various ledger accounts you have for those banks. So it becomes fairly easy. We can see our bank transactions that have come in. We'll have feeds for we can have feeds for each of our different bank accounts and credit cards. We have direct feeds, which are really automated. So each morning you wake up, the latest transactions for your bank are waiting there for you to allocate those transactions. We also have a way of a manual upload. So if you don't want to do the automated feeds, you can create a list of transactions on your bank website, save that, import that file in. And whichever way you do it, you can now just plainly allocate them to your ledgers through the facilities available there. One of the very cute ways of doing things is creating a rule, which I've done here on the other view here, our manual import, where once a rule is created, for regular sort of transactions, these will be highlighted by the program immediately. So as new transactions come through, they meet a rule, they get highlighted. You can accept a rule transaction by transaction, or after a while when you're confident that the rules are working correctly to your satisfaction, we've got this one button here which would accept all the highlighted transactions in one easy click, and all you're left with are other transactions which wouldn't require one-to-one attention, and which you can then go in and either use a shortcut method or drop into a full form, which will give you greater access on how you record that transaction. So you have a lot of fields here where a lot of information can be stored, whether it be in description lines on line items or here in the header of the transaction itself, to make sure you've got all that information that you need to know what these transactions are about. So once all these transactions are entered in on a day-by-day basis, or whatever frequency you do, the key things is we put that information in to get information out. And for that, we have this reporting center where we have various categories of how you may want to look at that data. The first important ones are things like profit and loss. So we can open up that report and get a very simple profit and loss for our period. Income, expenses, net position. We have the ability to change the reporting period we have, whether it be this financial year, last financial year, last quarter, this quarter, and not to forget all dates and customized dates. So whichever way period you want to look at the program, you can set those reporting fields for your needs. Some reports will give you a comparison, like we can, for this profit and loss, this financial year against last financial year. So we can have a comparison between this year and last year and see how we're going along. Show more options. We can turn fields on or off depending what our needs are. Show more information. For instance, the variance is showing in percentage. Maybe we want to see it in dollar terms as well. So we can do that fairly simply and get just more information that we want on there. So it's a very easy way that from all this information you put in on a day-by-day basis, that the system collates it together into something meaningful and useful to your organisation. The reports that we have varied. Financials are maybe your key ones, but what about looking at your customer transactions? Customer transactions might actually be your members. You know, what members have been paying their fees, who's up to date, and so on. We can get view those transactions. With reports, very easy. We see the reports here, but we can drop in and see the actual detail merely by one click to open up the underlying document, and now we can see all the information that there is about that transaction. So yes, we put information in to get information out, and we can use that to for the purposes of whatever that business is. Various fields, whether it be tax or payroll, employees, customers, lists, a whole range of things, about 40 reports in all to help you through to organising that. And depending on the organisation, you might have to do things like a BAS return. So the program is already configured to pull the relevant information out for your BAS return. The key GST information is driven by the tax codes, and it automatically appears in the report. Other aspects that aren't GST related, we've got open boxes where you can put in the appropriate amounts, and you might be able to use the reports inside the program to find out what those numbers are. Put them in, and at the bottom we get the number that you owe the tax office or the tax office owes you. So bringing it all together down to those final elements. There's a lot more to it. We won't go into too much more other than just to point out that we do have a settings area. The program is fully flexible. You know, you're not constricted to behave in a certain manner. You can change this program to a degree to meet around the way you like to operate. So in here you'll find options there to configure things, to turn various features on or off, set various defaults. So check those out there, and you'd be able to streamline the way it looks for your business. So it's very easy to learn. We've got great help options here. Reckon Help sent a little question mark up here, takes us to our offerings. We've got the old style written directions on how to do things. We have tutorial videos on our YouTube channel, so you can actually see a lot of these things being done. We have a Reckon community, which is 24/7, users helping users. It's something that our staff monitor as well, so they'll jump in there and offer questions and directions as well. Great thing about it is 24/7, so even if you're working at 10 o'clock at night, you'll be surprised who might be out there and willing to give you a hand. We have a support hub as well that will happily, you can lodge tickets there, as well as give you links to all these other support sites as well. And also during business hours, you can always contact us. We've got sales and customer service and technical support all available. They can take your call in those hours. So you're not going to be alone. People like myself, as part of this Grassroots Accounting, we're here to help you get started and point you in the right direction and make sure you're doing the right things and learning the things you need to know. But also behind us is this entire support network to ensure there is support for you in many forms to help you along. So that's it for me. I'll hand it back to Francis. I hope you find that this program very versatile, easy to use, and meets your needs.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for that, John. Just making sure that everyone can see my screen again.
Yep, they can see that, Francis.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So in regards to Grassroots Accounting and also what the cost is for our Reckon One plan, we actually have 6 different, I guess, subscription plans, 3 in accounting and 3 in payroll. So how it actually works is you choose, I guess, the product that you actually would need. Now, in my sort of experience so far when dealing with NFPs, that you actually don't really need a lot. You really just want to be able to just do your cash flow management, send invoices, and have your bank feeds connected. And everything else is you don't really need to actually use, but you can use it if you want to be, if you really need those features. And that functionality for that, and a lot of our NFPs and sports clubs actually use, that would be the Accounting Plus plan. And as you can see here, we actually have that plan normally at $20 per month. As a grassroots organization and NFP, we're offering a 20% discount on any Reckon One software plan or combination of it. But if you were to choose a $20 plan, which is pretty much really what you'll need, that brings it down to $16 per month. So I know there are a lot of different software plans out there, software plans you're probably on right now, and you can tell, and I'm pretty sure that you would see that our price at $16 per month for having bank feeds connected, cash flow management, and being able to send invoice, it is priced very, very affordably against the market. And obviously with all that, as John mentioned, we provide a lot of training, we have a lot of webinars, a lot of free resources that you could actually have to upskill yourself and also just to get yourself started. But otherwise, as someone doing grassroots accounting, we do provide you with a more dedicated or concierge service, if you'd like. You will have your own dedicated account manager, as well as a dedicated customer success manager, such as John, if you're lucky, and you get to contact him directly anytime for support. On top of the great discounts that we do offer our clubs and NFTs and grassroots organizations, we currently are running a pilot program. Now, the pilot program does have limited spots, and it is at the moment exclusive to sports club associations. We've actually got a couple of rugby clubs already signed up to this pilot program, so that's been amazing. And what you actually get in this pilot program is complimentary Reckon One subscription for 6 months, so you don't have to settle for the $20 subscription plan. It really is up to you what you want to choose, but you will get that Reckon One subscription plan for free for 6 months. We'll also provide you with that Wabi point of sale software with all of the bells and whistles on it, and we'll help you get that onboarded and set up for you. We'll even provide take care of the cost of one FPOS terminal for the duration of that 6 months as well. Because the way Wabi works, it is just point of sale software alone. You will need hardware aspect to that, whether it be a small device that just is a card reader to take payments, or a more fully fledged sort of FPOS terminal. So whatever you choose, we'll be happy to cover the cost of that for 6 months. And again, we'll also provide you with a dedicated support, onboarding, training the whole way through. And if you are coming from another accounting software, we're also happy to provide you with free data migration. Now, just a quick terms and conditions regarding the pilot program. You really must be using both the Reckon software and also using Wabi for at least 6 months, so Wabi for any sort of events or club-related events during the 6-month period. And then at the end of it all, we'd love for you to provide us with a bit of a case study as a user of the Reckon and Wabi software. So that's pretty much it in regards to qualifying for the pilot program. So if you definitely are keen to take this up, please let us know ASAP, because as I mentioned, the spots are limited as to whom we can offer this out to. And obviously there's 320 clubs out there. So, we really can't offer it to everyone. So it's first in, first served. What I'll do now, I'll hand it back to Andrew, or I'll let Andrew sort of chime in. Did anyone ask any questions along the way that we potentially could answer now before we sort of wrap things up? I know we've gone a little bit over the 7 p.m. mark, but I thought we'd answer any questions that came through.
Yeah, thanks, Francis, and thanks, John, for the presentation before, and thank you, Peter, for jumping in with a little bit more detail on the partnership, and thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. As we said, really appreciate your time. And I mean, ideally, Francis, myself, and John, we would love the opportunity to talk more with you after this session. There is a lot more to discuss in terms of the product itself. What John showcased was purely just a bit of a snippet. And as Francis mentioned earlier, we really don't have enough time to actually jump into the Wabi product, which is awesome in itself. So if you are based in Sydney, ideally, would love to come out to your club and see you. I mean, we're all working from home at the moment, as you can see, but we're in the office regularly in North Sydney. But we would be more than happy to come out to your club, meet in North Sydney at our office, or wherever you like. So please do let us know. Our details are up on the screen at the moment on the slide, but Francis and I will also send everyone who's attended today a quick email just with our details, and hopefully we can have the opportunity to talk more. We have had a couple of questions come through, Francis, so we might jump into those. There were a couple of questions from a few attendees about if this session's being recorded. Yes, it is being recorded, and we'll be sending that out after the session. So keep an eye on your email inbox tomorrow for a copy of the recording. We're also happy to share the slides as well. But Francis, we did have one quick question before, just around the pricing tiers on that slide you had before. Is Wabi included in those options, or is that separate? Do you maybe want to touch on that?
So I did quickly mention it before. I know it was kind of probably hidden in the slide, but there is no cost to Wabi in terms of a subscription cost or any ongoing sort of fees at that. So how Wabi works, it is just the point of sale software alone, which it does include as well the staff rostering, the team management, the the CRM, all of those features, that's just all included in Wabi. And what you then the next part to having Wabi as a software, you would need the hardware, and the hardware is usually provided by our payment providers that we partner with, and we're currently partnered with 3 payment providers, which is ANZ, Worldline, an organization called WinCave. They've been around for a very long time as well. And you've got a company called Stripe. Stripe is one of the newer, I guess, or a pretty well-known payment organization. So each of these 3 payment providers have their own FPOS terminal options. It could as well as their own sort of pricing structure to it. So it really is up to you which way you want to go, but that's really the only cost in regards to hardware. And then obviously there is the card processing fee of 1.9% per, I guess, card transaction, like you would if you were at a bar and you're paying by card. There's always that transaction fee. So that's at 1.9%. But apart from that 1.9% card processing fee and the hardware cost based on what you want to get and which provider you choose, Wabi as a software is actually, there is no cost for that. There's no ongoing subscription cost. There is no initial cost at start. So we provide you with all of that set up. There's no charge to us as well for helping you get that started. So that's the great thing about Wabi.
Thanks, Francis. That's good. And I think that the terminal cost for the payment terminals, depending on which provider you go with, relatively affordable, aren't they? Ranging from about 20.
Yeah, they could exactly. Yeah, so they would range from about up to 20. Like the more simpler, I guess, terminals would be about $20 at least per month, and then there's some pretty awesome, like fully high tech ones that you could choose that do cost a little bit more. But it's really up to you. And they are sort of rental fees, so you could do it for a season. It's really up to you what you negotiate. But what we can do is we can point you in the right direction of where we think your club is best suited, depending the kind of activity you have, and we'll help you get started with that sort of with that payment provider setup.
Thanks, Francis. That's great. Maybe just flick back to the slide with our details there, just so if anyone missed it, they can note them down. Appreciate that. Another question maybe for you, John, and I should know the answer to this, but just to be 100% sure, I'm going to let you answer it. I see it was a question regarding the exporting of reports in Reckon 1, and the person who asked the question said that they could see PDF in there, but can it also be exported to CSV or Excel, so XLS?
Absolutely. We've got always look out for the drop down arrows here. This is at the top of the list. So CSV is there, Excel is there, and RTF to put into documents.
Great. So nice and handy to be sharing those reports around in whatever format that you like. Thanks for that, John. Another question, I can answer this one. What are the options for receipt capture and storage? So at the moment, we do offer the ability to attach receipts and maybe other bills to transactions. We do have other options if you're wanting a more automated solution. So we do partner with various different companies, such as Dext is one, MMC Receipt is another, for you to actually use OCR technology to suck information from those bills and receipts directly into the software. So there's multiple options available there. So that's all the questions we have that have come through that we haven't answered already. But like I said, just wanted to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Really appreciate your time. We'd really love to talk more with your club about Grassroots Accounting and your setup, or just chat about life in general. So please let us know. We'd love to be in touch. And once again, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and hope you have a good one. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. Thank you again. Hope everyone has a great night.
Thanks, Francis. Thanks, John, and thanks, Andrew. Great session. Thoroughly enjoyed.
Thank you, Peter.
And,
have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Partnership continues. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Peter.